things.
What's the defining moment of an Andre Johnson career? I don't know if anything really specific comes to mind. I think of the Redskins game where he catches the game-winning pass towards the end of the game. You might think of a couple of the catches and touchdowns that he made in the playoffs, but is there a moment for you that comes to mind?
Yeah, when he beat the hell out of Cortland Finnegan. People think about Andre, and as Antonio Smith was saying, he was quiet. He let his actions speak louder than words, and sometimes he let his fists speak louder than words. I think when everybody saw him pound Cortland Finnegan, I went up to him the next day and I said, I thought you told me you'd never been in a fight. He said, well, you said in the NFL. And it's pretty obvious the way Andre was standing, throwing punches, because most players didn't fight, that he had been in fights and knew how to fight. And I think that helped his reputation even more as a physical player. Andre's 6'3" and 230. He's a great blocker, and he was tough. I don't think things that were negative about his career, like only winning 2 division championships, winning 2 playoff games, touchdowns, that's going to have much to do with him being in the Hall of Fame. And also it's going to be tough because on the first ballot, we just don't put receivers in on the first ballot anymore. So they have to be patient, and I know Andre is a very patient man.
Well, let me ask you now about Arian, because he just retired as well. Is there any question if he would have been able to stay healthy for you? Is this guy a Hall of Famer? Because you look at yards per carry, he's right there with guys like Walter Payton and Emmitt Smith as far as his yards per carry during his career.
I don't look at Arian Foster and say he's a definite Hall of Famer. Arian was a really good two-way back who could block, tremendous receiver. But I think he would have had to play several more years and put up gaudy numbers to be able to get serious consideration. There's guys out there that have 10,000 yards that are not in the Hall of Fame. So he was, to me, the third greatest player in Texans history behind Johnson and Watt. I think Dwayne Brown's number 4. And eventually I think Bob McNair. He's never had a player retire that was great, so they don't have a ring of honor or ring of fame, whatever they want to call it. They haven't retired a jersey or a number. So I'm sure now they'll be thinking about this in the off season, and they'll do something for both of these players next year. And what an exciting moment that will be for the fans to see 2 of the greatest players in franchise history come back and be honored in Energy Stadium.
You're listening to Houston Sports Talk.